Welcome to From the Porch. This is Shannon Berkelbeck, and I'm actually at my favorite porch down at the barn with the horses and the cats and the dogs. Love it down here. I don't know if everybody has watched my intro video to know why I created this podcast, but it was because I said, how do you love your neighbor if you don't know them? So I wanted to interview different people from Waller County just to keep our community connected as we grow. And I decided it was finally time to talk a little bit more about that why in my heart for this community. I have always been a servant, leader, loving to serve my community. I feel like God has put that in my heart. So I want to go in and kind of have the backstory of when I first came to Waller. So we moved to Waller when I was 10, back in 1981. You're going to figure out my age. Don't do the math. And my dad just thought Houston was getting a little crazy, and he wanted to move out here. He was always a country boy at heart, and you probably heard my mother's story. She was a city girl, and I'm a little bit of both. I love the peace out here, and I also love what the city has to offer with food and theater. But he told me I could have a horse, and I just said goodbye to my friends because I wanted a horse. So I got to live my dream as a little girl, getting to show and barrel race and some of that fun stuff, and just be with my horse, trail riding and acting like a crazy little Indian. It was a blast, and I was very blessed to get to come and live in a beautiful place like this. As I got into high school, I got to learn more about agriculture. One of my favorite classes was the soil science class. And that has become very useful as I'm now trying to grow my own organic hay, or as organic as possible. And then when I got to college, I majored in accounting at A&M, but I actually was on the horse judging teams. We had to take some different ag classes, and I loved that I was able to take some nutrition classes. And again, I've learned to perfect that with my horses, with myself now. So all that was really great. And at A&M, I was able to meet my husband. We were at Central Baptist Church where we met, so we've been married for over 30 years now. And I made him move to the country too. I really had to be back here with my horses. So after we lived in Houston for a few years, I was still coming back and forth with my parents here and my horse here. So I said, I really want to be closer to my horse. I bought a few more horses, it kind of adds up. But I was able to figure out a way to make money with horses. It's hard to do in this industry, but somebody introduced me to counseling with horses. They knew somebody that was a counselor and said, hey, they need a new horse person. Could you do that? So I got certified in equine assisted psychotherapy, and that started a whole new venture. I had already been involved in some natural horsemanship and teaching some riding lessons just to some homeschoolers mainly that were out here in the area. But then it just grew and grew. I actually had other instructors that started out here, and we just really got into the corporate team building with the horses, doing retreats with Lone Survivor Foundation, with the PTSD, with a lot of autism, just leadership skills. I just love how the horses can be in the moment and help teach you how to do that, how to be present, how to be a better leader, how to have better relationships. So I have so much fun getting to do that business. And I have a couple other businesses. I've been an entrepreneur in different ways. There's some little more artistic kind of businesses and nutrition kind of life I do with my Young Living essential oils. I'm pretty passionate about that. My horses and all my animals get to benefit from that. And again, I save a lot of money. So I'm all about saving money. But I wanted to talk a little bit about COVID. That was a big shift in my life when I felt like there was a lot of federal overreach. A lot of things happened, and it affected my business. It affected everyone's businesses, but especially, horses are considered, an extra thing, or even counseling was extra. But I will tell you, I saw a lot of fear during COVID, and I actually ended up counseling with counselors that I work with out here with the horses, with a lot of fear, anxiety that happened during that. And I had some friends that lost their businesses during COVID. So that federal overreach was one of the reasons I really started getting more into politics. I became more involved locally, going to state convention, joining our local Republican women's group. And during that time, I just learned it's way more powerful to get involved locally. And I still am interested in more the state level of fighting our property taxes and other issues that we need to have a voice. We need to speak up. And I learned how to do that with True Texas Project and some other organizations. The Texas Federation of Republican Women is a great group to be able to teach you and to just help with the campaign and things. So during my involvement with Republican Women and other organizations, the Waller County Patriots, I found out that there was going to be an open position for Waller County Commissioner Precinct 2. So I prayed about it. We talked with several people and decided that this is what God wanted for me. With all of my experience, with my heart for serving this community, it just seemed like a really good fit. I started going to Commissioner's Court about 2 years ago and just learning what the job entails, learning all the things that it covers. And I found that it's a fit for my skills, for my interest level, and I really just have a heart to try to fine-tune the budget, try to find creative ways to do things in the county, better ways to make money, better ways to save money. And therefore, I am going to run for your Waller County Commissioner Precinct 2. The election is February 17th, is early voting through the 27th, and then the election is March 3rd. So hopefully you will do your research and learn about the candidates, learn about their different positions, and please vote. Your voice does matter. Locally, it matters more than you can even imagine. The amount of people that will vote in a primary is very small. So I want you to know that your voice is important. One of the things I'm running on in my campaign is transparency. I feel like most people don't know what is happening in the county until it's already done. And so my hope is to actually be able to do a better newsletter, a better social media, Facebook pages, or things like that, whatever you need to actually help educate you more. And another way that we can do that is by going back to having town halls. Please get involved. There's a lot of change coming, and we can be prepared for that, and I want to hear how we can best serve you. I am very passionate about truth. I'm always researching to try to really fully understand different issues, and I think that's really important for making decisions. That's what commissioners do, is you're constantly making decisions for how to spend your money and mine, which is my passion for getting involved with that, is that my property taxes are very high. Therefore, that's when we get motivated. When something makes us uncomfortable, we're going to go research it. We're going to go look at all different angles and figure out a way to make better decisions. And so that's what I do as an entrepreneur. I'm constantly making decisions, and I am ready to do that with your tax dollars and with mine. How do we define truth? I define truth by what God says truth is. Otherwise, it's relative and it just becomes vague and indecisive. The Founding Fathers actually based our Constitution and the Articles of Confederation on a lot of God's Word. That's how it's defined. So part of my journey through Commissioner's Court was I actually was able to get the Ten Commandments monument accepted to go on our new courthouse grounds. I wanted to do that because we need that reminder of God's truth. I mean, who here remembers all 10 commandments? I don't. I have to be reminded all of the time of the just different ones and convicted of them. So I love that we're going to be able to unveil that soon. The monument is paid for and should be on its way. So I'm just so thankful that we're going to have that foundation of our Constitution, the foundation of our law, and should be the foundation of our lives, is based on truth. So I'm excited to be able to share that with you. Thank you, and please subscribe and share this with your friends so that we can keep our whole community connected together.